Hey guys, and welcome to a video from SDHQ. It's Callum, and today we're going to be going over something that is geared towards all of you beginners that have somehow avoided Stardew Valley for the last 7 or 8 years. And today we're going to be looking at 5 key things that you need to do on your very first day in Stardew Valley. Whenever you jump into the farm for the very first time, it can be a little bit daunting, a little bit overwhelming. There's so much to do, your farm's a mess, the whole world is basically at your feet, and you have had absolutely zero tutorial from this game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bridge the gap for you guys, and I'm going to give you 5 things that you can do on your very first day that will give you a head start on all the other guys that are just kind of swimming in the deep end with no idea what's going on. So join me as we go through my 5 day 1 tips. Hey guys, so you're joining me on day 1 in Stardew HQ Farms. So we're going to be teaching you the 5 tips for your first day in Stardew Valley. Number 1, it's plain and simple, but some people manage to miss this. You can actually access 15 parsnip seeds right as you get out of bed, and it's a really important thing that you do, because if you don't, you'll miss out on the chance to get some quick profit in the first stages of the game. So the first tip is basically to clear a section of your farm like so that you can plant your parsnips. It's dead simple. Just get your mining pickaxe out, get the stones cleared, and then as well as that, you'll need your axe to clear some of the logs and small trees. So I'm going to clear a little section here, like so. Oh, it's horrible having your axe as low grade as it is at the very start of the game. I'm not used to it anymore. And then once you have a little section cleared, just make yourself a little 5 by 3 section where you can plant your parsnips. Doesn't have to be anything more complicated than something just right beside the house where you can plant your seeds. Then it's a case of just throwing them in there in the dirt, like so. And then you just need to water them. And it is a slow process in the early stages of the game where you have to water everything one by one. There's no sprinklers. But it is important to do this in the first day, because it means that you can get these all harvested by day 5, and then it means you can buy more seeds for better crops during the spring season. So that is my tip number 1. Okay guys, so you're joining me for tip number 2. It's just turned 9 o'clock on Monday the 1st, and that means one thing: Pierre's is open. My tip number 2 is that you have to go and visit Pierre's on day 1. You have 500G that you can spend on just about anything you want, but the best thing that you can do is invest in crops in the early stages of the game. Now, it's up to you which ones you want to invest in. Personally, I do like going with cauliflower, because if you can get enough money to purchase 9 of those, it's admittedly quite hard to do in the early stages of the game, but let's say you sell some stuff, there is the possibility you can get up to 8 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I was able to find another 160G, I'd be able to get 9 of those. The reason why I would want to do that is because if you plant cauliflower seeds in a patch of 3 by 3, there's a chance they can grow into a giant cauliflower, and that is a fantastic thing in terms of the quality of the crop and the yield. So that's something you can do. But other good starter crops are beans, potatoes. Everything else I would probably avoid, but obviously you need one of each, that being parsnips, potato, cauliflower and beans, to unlock a section of the community center. So it's best to maybe buy a selection of all 4. Just depends on your approach, but ultimately what I would say the second tip is, and your takeaway from this is, to go to Pierre's as soon as it turns 9 o'clock and get yourself some crops, and then get back to the farm and plant those bad boys. That's my tip number 2. Okay guys, so moving on to tip number 3, and this is a tip that involves a little bit of dumpster diving. Yes, so you see those little trash cans up here? These are actually little nuggets of gold that you can find dotted around the town. Now, you might think, how is a bin a golden nugget within the context of Stardew Valley? Well, if you interact with these bins, there's a chance that they will give you an item that's pretty usable within the world. It just depends. You could get trash, or you could get something like a gold bar. It really just depends on the luck of the draw. So I'm going to show you how these work. I'm going to show you all the bins around the town, and then I'll give you some tips on how to get the most out of these bins or trash cans if you prefer. So first of all, it's this one here, and then you have one directly after it. Then we make our way up to the saloon. That's where we'll find our next one. So just do a little loop up here. And then we try that one. There's one at George's house as well, so we try it. Then we work our way down to Mayor Lewis's house. And we interact with that one. We get some trash, which is not a very good indicator of what you can get in the bins, but I mean, you expect to find trash in a bin. Then we move over to the library. Sorry, the museum / library. Then we try Clint's place. And then finally, we move our way up to the Joja Mart, where we will find the last one in this corner. So, no luck in terms of rare and interesting items, but I promise you, if you do that every single day, you will be surprised at the kind of things that you will find in there. Now, 2 things to remember. 1, try and do it early in the day, because you don't want eyes on you with characters roaming around, because if they catch you rooting around in the bins, then you're going to get in quite a little bit of trouble. You can lose reputation with the characters, and the good thing about going early in the morning is most characters don't leave their bed or leave their house until around 8 AM, so that is probably the best time. And secondly, if you do end up getting trash out of the bins like I have done now, hold on to it, put it in a chest, because you never know what you might be able to use it for. Whenever you get access to recycling machines, you'll be able to turn trash into torches, you'll be able to change broken glasses into refined quartz. There's lots of great options for trash as well, believe it or not. And there's Mayor Lewis. Hello, buddy. So that is my 3rd tip. Get rooting around in those bins, guys. Hey guys, it's time for tip number 4, and tip number 4, it directly relates to your energy within the game. So at the start of the game, you will not have a ton of energy and it will deplete really quickly. So if you decide to clear the farm, cut down some trees, maybe do a spot of fishing, although that's locked to day 2, you will see that your energy depletes really quickly, and there aren't a lot of sources of energy, food, and other bits and pieces in the early game. Your first week is going to be a case of deplete your stamina bar and usually either go and socialize or go to bed early. That tends to be the way it goes. However, there are some ways to get around that and get the most out of your day. And one of them that most people miss, because it's not exactly something that's telegraphed by the game, is the spring onions that you can find at the bottom of the map. And if I can get around this tree, I can show you them. There they are. So if I can show you where they are on the map, I'm all the way down here. This is where you find the spring onions. Now, they aren't the best item in the game, and you can refine them a little bit through a quest line later down the line, but even at the start of the game, they offer a great deal of energy in relevance to the stuff that you can actually get your hands on. So let me deplete my energy just a little bit, just to show you how much you can get out of these. So I've chopped down an entire tree, which will give me a good bit of resources. And then if I use my spring onion, and then use maybe another one, my energy is basically full again. So you can cut down a tree, use 2 spring onions, and then you can get all your energy back. And it's completely free. As long as you walk down to the end of the map and grab these, you can have them completely free of charge. Your other option is to go foraging, but it's a bit more RNG based. As you can see there, I picked up a horseradish. I found one on my way down as well. These can offer great deals of energy. So horseradish is the best one that you can get. A leek is the best one that you can get. Horseradish is also good. But then there are also things like dandelions that are very good. Basically, if you find something on the ground and you can consume it, it is a good idea to do that in the early stages and get the most out of your day. If you're going to bed around 3 or 4 p.m. and you feel like there's nothing more you can get out of your day because your energy bar is depleted, you need to find a workaround. And I promise you guys, this is your workaround. So go and get your spring onions, go and find your forage, and keep that energy bar high. Hey guys, you've caught me chilling out in the Stardrop Saloon at the end of a hard first day's work on the farm. So I'm going to let you in on our last tip, which is to socialize and be sociable within this game. If you want to get married, if you want to unlock new things within the game like recipes and stuff, you're going to need to chat to people and form really strong relationships with all the characters within the game. Now, the best way to do that in the first stage of the game is to just talk to people, because there is a little quest that you can do where you need to talk to all the people in the game. So try to do that, but also you need to try and get your relationships up with characters, and that means improving your heart rating with each character, and you do that by giving gifts. You can do 2 a week. And in the early stages of the game, you're going to struggle to find items that are worthwhile to gift people. So if you have some forage, such as a sunflower, that can be a pretty safe neutral item that you can give to people in the early stages of the game. Some people really like leeks, for example. That's one of George's favourite items, so if you find a leek, make sure you give that to him. But then there's also workarounds that you can do. Now, this could be quite costly in the early stages of the game, but if you go to Gus in the tavern, or the Stardew Saloon rather, you can buy items that people tend to like a lot more. So for example, if you buy a beer, like I've done there now, you can give that to Pam or Shane, who frequent the bar pretty much every night, making it an easy way to get their heart rating up to max. And Shane is a marryable character, so that means that you can get his rating up really, really fast. Other options would be pizza for Sam, salad for Leah. There's lots of great options here, and you can also learn recipes as well, but you'll need to get yourself a kitchen before you do that. But that would be my 5th and final tip. Be sociable whenever you're not doing your farming duties. So that is my 5 tips to hit the ground running in Stardew Valley and really make the most of your first day on the farm. Catch us for more guides if you want to learn how to do everything after day 1, and you take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in.